Lydia Walter. Why East Coast Bowhunting Podcast?
Because neither one of us wear pink camo.
East Coast Bowhunting Podcast. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Look, man, I'm from Wisconsin. I listen to the East Coast Bowhunters because you don't get anything more real than these guys.
Because East Coast Bowhunting sets the standards for keeping its listeners informed on everything that matters in the hunting industry.
It's nice having somebody, local and represent the East Coast boys.
The East Coast is going to saddle up.
Number one source for slaying whitetails on the East Coast.
Well, you might see Jesus if you actually do something, it'll get you into heaven.
Why East Coast? Why not? I'm East Coast, baby. That's how we roll. Chew on that.
Come on the show a stranger, and you feel like one of the boys when you leave.
Because I get my hunting camp anytime I want.
There's some absolute monsters roaming the East Coast, and I think it needs a little attention, so why not bring it to the East Coast Bowhunters Podcast?
Man, because East Coast is a tight-knit crew, and y'all like me. Raw, real, no bullshit.
Because you guys are hometown boys. I love you guys.
East Coast Bowhunting Podcast.
This is Kurt Geyer with Working Class Bowhunter, and East Coast Bowhunting Podcast is the only hunting podcast I'll tune into.
Happy 420, fellas. How's that taste? Tastes good, Trev? Tastes good. We're joined with Modern Assassin. What's up,
What's
G?
good, boys?
What's up, brother? Chilling. We're blasting out a quick little bonus episode. Compliments of your boys, East Coast Bowhunting Podcast. This is DRock here with Trev. Joined with us again, to reiterate, G.
Modern Assassin.
Word. And we're here in the middle of Slayer's Studio in Coventry, Connecticut, hiding in the mountains of God's heaven. This is the East Coast Bowhunting Podcast, and we're bringing you the inside scoop of the outdoor group / elite archery. If you don't have one, make the switch. So we're going to be touching on a lot of little different avenues today. And today's episode is brought to you by Shabeen Brewing, the hunter's beer. Shabeen. 100 Demons, East Coast hardcore music known worldwide. Trev's Euros for all your Euromount needs. Encore Targets, self-healing targets to self-heal your pockets. Meyer Trail Cams, who's on your hit list. Outright Hunting, the more pro is the last bow hanger you'll ever buy. Death Wish Coffee, fueled by death. Ethics Archery, it's like steroids for your arrows. Tree Thrasher, imitate the wild. Nor'easter Game Calls, get them in close. Get your ECB Blood Series turkey pot call now. Wild Edge Inc., the supreme leader in mobile hunting, the one and only. And this show is driven by Scranton Motors and Power Motorsports. This show is presented by Working Class Bowhunter. Not just a podcast, but the brand in the hunting industry. East Coast Bowhunting Podcast is here as always for new and old hunters by sharing our experiences in the woods through playing and slaying. What's up? What's up, DRock?
What's happening, fellas?
What's up, G?
Was just outside practicing a little bit ago. It's windy as shit, and the wind done flipped my blind over once. But, getting out there, sitting in the stool, shooting at low targets, getting ready to cut a turkey's head off.
Word. We were practicing, too. We were practicing using the Wild Edge step. Hell
nice.
Yeah. We were out there in the woods. We used the East Coast Scranton Power Sports side by side, got to the top of the mountain, broke out the steps. Trev, why don't you tell our listeners real quick what happened as we got out of the side-by-side. I put the steps on my back, and I'm kind of leading the pack in the woods. We got our boy helping us film, Danny. Yep. Danny the Brewmaster. Yep. And, I'm looking for a gnarly-ass tree to show the versatility of the steps, of the Wild Edge steps. And what happened, Trev? DRock walked right by a shed, and I yelled, "Shed!" I'm like, "What?"
Boner.
Boner. Yeah. Man. So he walked right by the shed, dude, and I was so pumped. I'm like, "Oh, there we go. That's lucky number 13."
Well, dude, it's easy to do. Not long ago, I took a buddy of mine out. It was his first time shed hunting. Actually, he may have gone with me one other time, but and we had Brick's collar died. So I'm paying way more attention to him and what he's doing, where he's going, how far away he's getting than normal. And I literally stepped right over it. My buddy said he saw it and watched me step right over it and was like, oh, that must not be a shed. Walked up, sure as shit it was.
It's crazy how that happens, man. Like we were out shed hunting the other day with a buddy of mine, Jake, and we went into a spot. And we're walking through the field, and we go up over a stone wall, and we get on the other side, man. And I seen the shed from a ways away, and I don't say nothing, and I just start sprinting. Now, mind you, I'm a 260-pound man, and I just start sprinting. He thought Jumanji was coming.
So him sprinting is like slow motion version of the Mexican running.
Yes. So I go and I grab the shed right out in front of him. Dude, he was so mad. He didn't talk to me for the rest of the day. He was pissed.
It's funny. I either see him from 25 yards away or I about step on the damn thing.
And that's what I damn near did, because I'm looking up, looking for the gnarliest tree ever. And, of course, Trev's looking down like, yeah, okay, DRock, keep walking. I go, shed, booner!
It's just funny how sheds I either, like I said, about step on it or it's like I see it a ways off, you know?
Right. It's crazy how that is, though. And it all depends, honestly, I think, is more or less on the day. Like the sun or not being sunny. Like sometimes, like depending, like if the sun catches it or it doesn't catch it. Because sometimes, like sometimes you're looking ahead and the sun will just catch it, like, and it just attracts your eye. But then sometimes you could walk almost on them, like you're saying, because you just don't see them.
It's completely different now with it being green.
Right. Now they really
the landscape has changed quickly within a matter of just a couple weekends and some sunshine. So
yeah, man.
But you know what that means, though. That's a good thing. That's a good change.
Yeah,
it's about to be gobbler time.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting ready for that. We were talking about that. We're at you need the vino?
Yeah.
Damn. See, I got Trev on the red wine right now. We coating the stomach. We coating the stomach. Some Robert Mondavi.
We were at Caddy Cowboy's daughter's 1-year birthday today, so we took a bottle of red with us for the ride.
We told him, like, we need this for the podcast. He's like, oh, I wish I could go. I'm like, relax, man. This is your daughter's day, and he was all about it. Yo, homeboy dressed up like a mermaid. He had a
man, I gotta see that.
Yo, he had a Triton in hand and everything. Yo, he's a really good daddy, man. Oh man,
that's awesome.
It was hilarious, man. Oh shit,
good shit.
So what did you boys do?
So yeah, let's cut right into it, man. Happy 420, everyone out there. If you got them, light them up. Trev.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. If you got them, light them up. Light them up. Happy 420, everyone. Do everything responsibly. If you pick a certain poison, make sure you have a designated driver, or just stay at home and enjoy it. But on the off subject,
don't be a dumbass.
Yeah. Don't be a dumbass and get yourself in trouble. Enjoy your life. But on that same token, though, you know what?
Shabane.
On that token.
Don't tell me you got one.
He does have one.
You got one in Maryland?
He bought a case when he was here.
Bro, I'm trying to play along with you. Trev, ruining it.
I thought we were talking logic.
That's all good. So yeah, it's 420 now. Earlier this week, the Modern Assassin and I, on the 17th, we took the long jaunt from our home base. Him out of Maryland, me out of Connecticut, the dirty. And where you out of, Modern Assassin? Out of Maryland? What city?
I'm out of Harford County.
Word. And I like how vague you kept that.
No, we ain't even a city. We just a county.
Yeah, out in the sticks. But so we took the long jaunt. It was about 5.5 hour drive, give or take, to Rochester, New York, and we hit up the outdoor group headquarters, a.k.a. the Elite Archery Factory. We saw it firsthand. And I'll start the story, and I'll pass the torch on to G. So that day, I didn't get any sleep that night. As a matter of fact, the reason I didn't get any sleep that night, because one of my boys out of Virginia just surprised me by knocking on my back door. and saying, what's up? I'm like, oh, shit, like, what's up, man? Haven't seen him in years, right? And this dude, I've been trying to get a hold of him to be my best man at the wedding, and I was already working on another best man because I couldn't get a hold of him. So, long story short, I ended up staying up drinking till like 1:30 in the morning. Not heavily, but, moderately, just, catching up and shit.
You were getting shabined. But again, responsibly, because I had to make a long drive and get up early to get out there on time and meet up with Christian Costa, the VP marketing of the outdoor group. And it was just crazy because it was 1:30. I'm like, bro, I hate to do this to you. Out of all nights, man, I'm like, I need to go to bed, man. I need to get up in time and meet the Modern Assassin, Rochester, New York, tomorrow by 11 o'clock. And we were shooting for what, 10:30, G?
We figured, around 10:30.
Yeah, so long story short, I wake up, I'm dreaming that my alarm's going off, and in my dream, I'm hitting the snooze.
That ain't no dream.
Yeah, in my dream, I'm hitting the snooze button, and it rang the third time. I look at it, said 5:40 a.m. I'm like, fuck. So I jump out of bed, do the deed, the morning routines, and I get on the horn with G. I'm like, yeah, I'll be on the road by 6. He's like, all right. And long story short, we kept in touch on the drive up there, kind of had a game plan of what we want to accomplish as far as getting up there. And because we were kind of...
Well, we couldn't talk about shit on the way up because we'd be talking and then all of a sudden I'd be like, Strutter out in the field. I'm looking at 4 of them right now. Like, it just happened to be one of them mornings where anywhere there was a bird, it seemed like he was in full strut, There
were clans of them out there, man. They're all horned up right now. It's definitely turkey season.
I saw a lot of them on my drive through PA, that's for sure.
Without a doubt. And there was definitely a lot in Connecticut, too. I feel like the East Coast, it has... Don't quote me on this, but it seems like they have the biggest birds out here. I may be wrong, but it just seems that way when they go pound for pound.
Maybe.
I was seeing some fucking monsters. I was seeing some monsters on the way there.
I've shot a couple in the 20-pound range.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. I've shot some that 21, 22 pounds. I've shot some really nice birds.
My one last year was 22.
Yeah.
I only got out 4 days last year. I felt so bad betraying the outdoors, but I got one. It was 22.3.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I shot a hammer with Keith Tattooed in the Wild out in Ohio last year. That bird went 23-something.
That's what I'm saying.
Actually, now I think about it, I'm getting ready to go back out there. I got to get some money together, pay a taxidermist, and bring a turkey home.
Yeah.
I just now rememmed that.
Are you going to do full mount?
Yeah, it's done. It should be done for me to pick up when I go out there to hunt birds with Keith and Ryan, and in a week.
That's awesome.
Got to scrap up some chabo.
Hell yeah!
So we're doing the jaunt and keeping in touch and kind of coming up with a game plan and whatnot because we didn't know what to expect exactly. Our main mission was mainly to see headquarters, make the connection, and meet the team. Main mission and mission accomplished. But we show up. Garrett was already there. I see this big-ass steel building, right? And it's pretty impressive, the size. I'm like, is this it? Like, I'm looking at my GPS. I'm like, this got to be it. And then you pull into the parking lot, and you see the big-ass outdoor group trailer. I'm like, yep, this is it. This is it. So I go towards the trailer because I figured GB parking there. And, of course, my Mexican ass backs up the Land Rover right next to it. Don't worry, fellas. Working class Land Rover. Ain't no new one. It's an 08 and I'm a mechanic. So I get the crazy deals. Don't get the wrong idea. I had to work for that. But anyways, I hit up Christian. I'm like, yo, we're here. He's like, great. I'll come out and meet you. And then what happened, G? As soon as we walked into the lobby, wasn't that fucking captivating?
Oh, yeah. The amount of taxidermy just inside the lobby as soon as you open the door is pretty badass. Species from all over the world, not even just whitetail, but yeah, it was pretty badass.
What species do you think? What was probably one of your favorite?
I know what mine was.
I don't even know. I kept looking at the turkey because it was right in front, and I'm all about killing a turkey right now. But there was all kinds of shit, dude. Big whitetails, some African species, all kinds of shit.
The one that really got my attention, it was right there, like almost biting me in my ear, was that big ass red stag. That shit was no joke.
I definitely
huge.
Red stag is like one of my dream animals too. So yeah, for sure.
I agree. I was gonna say is definitely that. Just those the big massive elk and moose and stags and stuff. Just to see those mounts, they're just it's mind blowing.
Right.
Yeah, they had some of everything right there. It was a pretty cool entrance. Put it that way.
That's awesome.
And it was very very genuine of Christian Costa to take the time to kind of take us in, sit us down, because they're real busy, and he's a real busy dude. And shout out to Lancaster Archery, was out there too doing some stuff. I don't want to get into details with that because I don't know what they're disclosing and whatnot. But I mean, if you want home base on archery, anything, shout out to Lancaster Archery in Pennsylvania, right, G?
Yep.
So so Christian takes us through the doors and puts in the special code, thumbprint, eye scan, voice recognition. No, I'm joking. But puts us, brings us through the glass doors. And he's like, well, let's start from the beginning. Let's head over to the teams that make it happen. And as soon as we're walking down the hall, ran right into my boy Jeff Southall, the man who makes it happen, all the graphics, the cool ideas and designs on, Shabine burp. The cool graphic ideas and images that are put on every elite archery bow, especially that badass working class bow hunter bow. That's all Jeff Southall. So
he's got a really cool episode with Working Class Bow Hunter. I can't remember what the episode number is, but that's basically how I was aware of him and his work and the whole design behind the Working Class graphic on their rituals. So that was a real interesting episode if anyone wants to check it out.
And what'd you think of because he displayed on the cover art on that specific episode, his African bow. What'd you think about that?
Well, it was because of that episode. I knew he had played with the graphics and made his own bow for Africa. And yeah, we got to see some of the pictures of it and all. And just some of the, there was just, a shelving unit there with just stacks of different risers with all different kind of graphics.
It was badass.
That they've kind of just experimented and played with. It was pretty badass.
Yeah, I mean, not even like that. Like Stevie Mo, they made the graphics of the wrestlers. So for Stevie Mo, so the shit that he can make.
I don't think they ever actually printed them. But
but they had a prototype of it. Yeah.
Work. Yeah. For the wrestling does to pull a prank on Kurt. Again, if you're wondering what the hell are they talking about, that's all on that episode.
Yeah, check out
Working Class.
Yeah, check out episode 259 on the Working Class Bow Hunter. That's Jeff Southall.
The Working Class Dictionary over here.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm a fanboy of them, It's my job to know their shit, though. I definitely make it a point to try to make everything possible happen for them when I can, if I can. On the same note, they just released episode 300 with Cody DeQuisto.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, that's a milestone mark and number.
No doubt.
Congrats, boys. 300. That's
congrats
huge.
to that. And the part 2 of that will be released on East Coast Bowhunting Podcast on Monday. We both recorded the same night with Cody. Shout out to Cody DeQuisto and Lone Wolf Custom Gear for taking the time to record with the both of us. They sponsored WCB, and that night we recorded with the Modern Assassin, Boneyard with Wild Edge Inc.
In-house while I was actually in Connecticut.
Yep. You were in Connecticut.
In studio. Y'all.
That was at Slayer headquarters. And we had Kurt Geyer. And I think Stevie Mo chimed in from time to time on that episode. A little bit.
Unfortunately.
Fucking ruined the band.
No, not that one. He did? No, he didn't ruin that one. That's yet to come.
Yeah.
That's yet to come.
Forgot about that one. Sorry, jumping the gun.
But it was really cool.
It's enough shit that you get it mixed up.
Yeah, you're right about that. We still love you, Stevie Mo, so don't worry. Well, I'll just get Kurt to give you Charlie Horse.
Don't worry, he's not going to listen to this podcast.
Oh, he listens. He just doesn't like to admit that he listens. But back on track is we ran into Jeff Southall right in the hallway as Christian brought us to the graphics team, introduced us. They actually have a team for every aspect of the business, especially focusing around elite archery. I mean, the outdoor group consists of many different companies, including companies like Slick Trick, Broadheads, Camex Crossbows, the works, Dual Game Calls.
Scott, Winner's Choice.
Yeah, Scott Archery.
Lynch Mob.
All of them.
Elite, yep.
Elite being the main push, and RTG, of course, with the fellas out there. Everyone knows RTG, respect the game, all the legends. Shout out to Clark Cummins, too, and Larry McCoy. I mean, all of them. Ryan Hauser. I mean, they're all making it happen, and it's awesome to just be there. Unfortunately, RTG wasn't there because they're filming Banging Turkeys right now. So we make the move. They actually have one person handling their whole social media aspect, which I thought was amazing. And she was kind of cute too. So shout out to her and Garrett right away. Here's my card. Look me up.
Well, I've been shooting Elite all this season, and I have a good bit of pictures and everything else, with my ritual and everything else. So yeah, you were saying that they have a team for everything. One of the aspects that's really cool is when you say team, sometimes it's a single individual or two people, or a group of two or three that kind of handle several things. It's very small as far as tight niche and well communicated. It's not like you have giant teams in different divisions. It's very small in-house in a way, which is the way to keep the quality through, all the way through from the idea to the marketing to the bow that's in your hand.
Word up. So we moved over from that main kind of corner of the building, which is a very important part. Every section had a very important role, but that's, the people that make it happen as far as the face of Elite and the outdoor group. So we move over to the sales department, and G, he walks in like he owns the place, and right away, one of his fans jumped out. He's like, "The Modern Assassin?"
I love how he says it, yo.
Straight up. Good kid, too, man. Good. He's still rocking like the 90s sideburns. I was like, hell yeah. You know what I mean? Me being an 80s child growing up through the 90s, how'd that feel, G, to have someone?
Dude, it was funny because, I remembered him, but I couldn't remember his last name. I even tried to look him up, and I was spelling it wrong, so I couldn't find him. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he just bought like a couple stickers from me, and I sent him stickers and a mask. And he and I have just bullshitted a little bit on and off, but yeah, I didn't really know that he worked there. He was like, "Holy shit! Didn't think when I came to work you'd be standing in my cubicle today."
Yeah, and G, he's like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, "This is my boy DRock," and he was like, "Who the fuck are you?" No, I'm just joking. He's like, "What's up, DRock? Nice to meet you." And then we slid over to the customer service department, and surprise, surprise, there was only two people to handle all of customer service.
Really?
Two people.
Yep.
And they have really good customer service.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. That was one of the things that, I mentioned as well, is that anyone that I've talked to that has had a problem with Elite, they're an Elite. Not many people have, but anyone who has had a problem has said their customer service handled it really well.
I mean, like even going into the bow shop, because the local bow shop here, he's an Elite dealer, and he's always said over the years that they have great customer service, and they always do very well. And they have a lot of warranties and stuff. That
from the dealer to the customer, even you know what I mean.
Yeah, they eliminate the middleman. They eliminate the middleman.
Because that's a big investment. I mean, when you love bow hunting like we do, it means a lot to a person when they put their money down to carry that bow. You know what I mean? So the fact that it means a lot to the company you're buying it from just says even a little bit more.
Hell yeah. And it's amazing, too, because the best part about it is that that, like you just said, they're really pushing quality, even to the point that they have like little knickknacks, random miscellaneous parts that may go wrong from abuse, but they do offer lifetime warranty. So they'll have those little things like that are most common to go bad from abuse, not from usage, just total abuse. And they have that little compartment right there and open in the main office. So this way, if someone knows about the order, right away they're on it. It could be anyone in that office. They'll grab, if it's brought to their attention, they grab what needs to be replaced, sent out, and this way you get the quickest, best quality customer service available out of that building.
Yeah, simple little things like, if you maybe strip a bolt, or if you lose a screw to something, that kind of stuff they have right there, so they can get it right out to you immediately, and you're not, sitting there waiting for something to get processed and sent out to you.
Or if you have a Trev's bloopers and you drop your bow out of your tree and it snags something, hits a rock, and the elite emblem pops off because it smacked the rock in the right way, they have those right there on hand ready to ship out.
They do.
So this is perfect segue to dive right into what we were saying, the special part. We walk right past the engineering room, and I started walking that way, and then Christian kind of grabs me by the shoulder and guides me away from there. He's like, no. That's off limits. And
they're not just going to let some Mexican walk up into the engineering room snapping pictures with his cell phone.
I even told him, I'm like, no, it's okay. And that always works. This time it didn't.
It's okay, senor.
It's okay, senor. I work here. He didn't fall for it this time, but they're always working on stuff years in advance. So, of course, we couldn't go in there, but he got us safety goggles, and we stepped right into the glory of it. The doors open, and I swear all you heard was, oh. We walked right by, and it was the factory of the elite bows, the process of being made, along with the rest of the outdoor group craftsmanship of their affiliations, whether it be
I'll say, going up there, I did not know that where we were headed to the headquarters there of the outdoor group. I did not realize that's where the machining of the bows was done, where they were assembled, the machining of the Scott releases and the sights and slick trick, everything. I did not know that the factory for all that was right there.
Isn't it amazing, though? It's impressive because it's a big building from the outside. But when you're inside, you're just not aware how big it actually is.
Yeah.
So
they got 9 different brands under the outdoor group,
something like that.
Yeah.
And
it was pretty awesome.
Hell yeah! And walking right through the pearly gates, they have kind of like a track of double yellow lines to like kind of the official walkway. So this way you're out of the workstations. And the most impressive thing that I could take away from that walkthrough, as we get into detail about it, is the fact that every station had max of like 3 people per station. A lot of them was just 1 person each, but each station had 3 people because they are huge on accountability. Christian Costa is a perfect tour guide. He laid down a lot of details that we can't exactly disclose to a T, but he was very, very informative in the fact that they're up in their quality and reducing their mistakes because there's always possibility for human error. And the key is having minimal people per station with multiple stations. So this way there's accountability. This way everyone has the ability to, quote unquote, hit the red button. If that person sees something wrong, once the process gets in front of them, in front of their hands, and they see something wrong, they have full-fledged ability to just stop production right there.
And not only, the ability, but the responsibility.
Correct.
To bring anything to address. And again, that's the same thing talking about earlier about the small teams. They can right then and there have everyone from, the smallest jobs of assembling the boat to literally the CEO out there on the floor to have a meeting almost immediately to address anything. And with that accountability, it's not just, if someone does something wrong, accountability. It's also like a pride It's a pride and it's a quality control. So if there is a problem, they can find out where it is. Not like, oh, who's responsible for this, but what do we do to fix this? This is where the problem is, with clear records and having a person or two at each station. It's not like you got 10 different people doing a single job,
Yeah. It's awesome.
It's pretty, I mean, it keeps a tight ship and a smooth ship.
It is pretty, Jay. It is pretty.
I was blown away when you guys were telling me when you guys were telling me about it when I was asking questions. It was just like, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, it's that hands on,
right?
That everybody that there's people actually doing that, and it's not machines putting it together or anything like that, and that there is accountability like that. So that just
when we walk in, Christian knows every single person,
by
not
first
just
name,
their
too.
job, but he knows their name. He knows how long they've been with the company. The guy we were talking about earlier, my buddy Jordan Costa there, he knew him, how long he had been working there. When DRock and I were out at lunch, I'm like, oh, look, somebody's got a bunch of sheds sitting on their dashboard. And Christian told us, he's like, yeah, that's your buddy Jordan you were talking to. He was telling us about he just got a black lab and how old it was. Like, it's very much of a
family business.
I was just going to say a family feel, the way it's constructed there. Yeah.
And believe it or not,
it's not what you think when you think big factory.
Correct.
Like, okay. We'll continue because I was going to get to more of the hands-on, but I guess that we'll talk about that a little further in the
yeah. Let's go step by step. So as soon as we go in and we bang a hard left, and he's just kind of giving us the high-end lowdown on the fact of how they process everything. So we went to shipping and packaging and receiving. And believe it or not, I know it sounds like, oh, well, that's not a great job. Well, guess what? The reason you get the customer service and your boat quickly to your door is because of the ship and receiving department. And these people in that department are like, they were sweating their butt off, just moving quick, trying to get receiving in and shipments out in the sense of being punctual to meet the customer's needs.
And there's it all goes through QC, a quality control department too.
That was
Anything
next.
coming in has to pass quality control and inspection. And then every step of the way through the build, it has to pass, a quality inspection check. But then again, those same people taking things in or shipping things out, again, it has to be checked for complete quality control, top to bottom. So every bit of material coming in to every single product going out.
And that was the next department as you walk through the tour was the quality department, quality check control department, and they're going through everything, lab coats and the works, just make sure that every component, every raw material passes quality check. And then directly into like what I could best describe as not just like milling machines, but like CNC type machines, but high-end multi-million-dollar machines to cut out, mill out every aspect of each elite bow, which is amazing. Even down to the cams. They have a section for the cams, a section for the risers, section for the limbs. I mean, everything.
And not just elite, but a lot of all that bar stock material that we saw when we first came in. All that was
for the Scott Archery releases,
yep. Or the Slick Trick ferrules.
Yep.
That's all made in the same factory right there.
All made there.
Serious machinery.
All made there in the same factory.
Everything. Scott, everything. Slick Trick.
Yep. CBE size, everything. They had everything.
So you
there.
mean all that is East Coast as fuck?
Yeah, and I didn't know if everyone out there knew that. I didn't know if everyone out there knew that.
I didn't even.
Like I said, I knew the headquarters was there. I did not know going there to meet Christian that this is where basically, I mean, we literally got to see pallets of raw stacked aluminum block.
Yeah,
where they take it and disperse it to each machine, and then it's fed into the machine as they retool it and everything, and then there's a shit ton of cams stacked up on the other side, ready to go to the next part of the process.
And it's funny it was funny to me anyways, to get a hold of a ritual riser, right? And it's in the shape of the riser somewhat, but in its most solid form. And it weighed, what do you think, like maybe 20, 25 pounds?
I think it was 19 pounds.
Yeah. It was ridiculous. You hold it in your hand, you're like, whoa.
To think about just the riser alone starts as a 19-pound hunk of metal, and a complete finished bow comes, that's with the limbs, the limb pockets, the hardware, all that comes in at just over 4 pounds.
Right, right.
It's pretty dynamic.
Yeah,
and we got to watch the machine sit there and cut out. I think we were watching, the one machine was cutting out a target bow riser, and I think the other machine was cutting out risers for the Valor, right?
Yep. The Valor's hot off the press right now. It's just as hot as the Ritual 30, I want to say. The Valor is the Ritual 30, but it's in a smaller form. Well, I don't want to say it's the Ritual 30. It's like the most versatile one that they offer.
I believe it's got some of the longest draw mods, that you can change draw length. And I believe it's 28 and a half axle to axle.
Yep, just over 28.
Like that.
Yep.
And it's a really forgiving brace height too, I think. 6 and 3/4, maybe something like that, maybe even a little more.
So it was a beautiful thing to walk through the process, and right off of, even for example, like the Scott Archery releases, there's actually a grinding station where they have 3 grinders right in a table, and they have 3 separate people that take each and every release, or even product, what have you, whether it be cams or what, smaller pieces like that, and even the risers, to shave off all the burrs. The grinders specifically is for the small parts. So this way everything is super smooth and down to precision.
Yeah, there was a station there for the releases, the target releases and everything, to make sure they're shaped just right and polished up just right. Again, amazing. That allows... those guys, you could tell they have pride in their work.
Hell yeah.
That what they get and what comes out the other end when they're finished with it. The other thing, I do a lot with machinery and all, so I understood a lot of what the machines were doing, what was going on, all this. And one thing that I, really couldn't get over was how clean
the whole facility,
the whole factory. Yes, but I mean, they have, whereas the guys were doing a lot of the deburring, it's on top of tables that have a downward vacuum the entire time. So there's never any airborne particles and dust. So it keeps it clean. It keeps it, safer and healthier for the workers too, but just keeps everything clean. You wouldn't think a giant machine shop turning out that much metal product from straight metal block.
Up to 200 bows a day leave the building.
They could, he said they had the capacity at full bore, 200 finished bows
a day.
Which is insane.
Each bow is what? Like probably on the vicinity of 12-ish, 1,200?
Yeah, about a base,
give or take, well,
11,
let's round it off to Gino.
Yeah.
Let's just round it off to Gino. So a day. $200,000 a day on just sales,
and that's not including Scott's.
Yeah, that's just bows.
Too.
That's just bows.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And now I don't know that that's their daily production, but
right.
have to crank down. That's what they can.
That's what they're able to do, and they do it. And they do it from time to time.
We looked at 2 of the machines we looked at for the that were cutting out the risers. They actually have an AI system that if the machine breaks a tool or it has to go over an area several different times, it'll realize that in its own AI capability, and it'll know it needs to slow down around that turn
Yeah,
so it doesn't break a tool.
In layman's terms, they're memory sensors. Memory sensors.
Yeah. If it needs to, it can switch to a larger tool to bore an area out instead of using the smaller tool and it taking a longer time. Even though that may be what it was programmed for. But the AI can manipulate and improve the program. Pretty insane. Each of those machines is like $1 million.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
And there was 2 of them at the one station.
At one
I don't
station,
even know how many CNC and milling machines. It was, it was quite a production. It
was, and the best part about it is they do their part to conservation. Going backtracking to the risers when they mill them out from a 19-pound, what have you, down to probably maybe a couple pounds, if that. All the shavings gets recycled into a bin, and they ship it out for a recycling department that actually buys it from them, and they melt it down and reuse it for other stuff, probably stuff made out of China and stuff like that. But, everything is recycled and used.
Any scrap is recycled, from the bows, from the cams, from the releases, everything.
So let's fast forward. We get past the grinding machines, and, dude, Chris is just talking to us, being very, very gracious and genuine on really getting down to the nitty-gritty of things, and then we pass to the rack full of Valors. Unfinished Valor risers just stacked on shelves, and they were crispy, chrome, shiny. Mexicans and chrome, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's the first thing I thought.
Like your rims.
Bro, yeah.
They look like glass.
Yeah, I started snapping mad photos because I was like, oh, my God.
You look like a... Never mind.
Yo, Garrett started laughing. I heard him laughing behind. He's like, of course, the Mexican with chrome.
Yeah. It's just as freshly raw and clean aluminum as you can imagine. Because it was just straight out of the machine. But, just stacks of them. Stacks.
And they had that downward force table to clean out all the burrs as well. All snap-on gear, equipment. They're using high-end tools to accomplish their goals, too. And
but it's all done by hand.
Everything is by hand.
They say that, and most people, and I never knew it or really thought about, but think, oh, well, yeah, right, it's just some machine that's media blasting them and this and that. And it's like, oh, no.
Oh, hell no.
Each one is in a person's hand with the tool to make sure it's done right.
The only thing that's not is just obviously the milling end of it, but even that's hands-on. People are getting their hands on every step of the way.
And even the deburring of the milled stuff, some of it is tumbled, but a lot of it, the finer parts for the releases and everything are done by hand to make sure that small, intricate mechanism is operating flawlessly.
Right. So we do the corner. From there, obviously, the Mexican, Garrett physically had to, pull me out of the
At that point, though,
section.
you're not a Mexican. You're like an American tourist.
Oh, and I told him I'm living, I actually felt Asian, with all the pictures. I was like, oh, look at these. Snap, snap, snap.
That's where I was going.
Yeah,
was
it was weird as shit. He had a Polaroid hanging around his neck. It's like, move along.
I had a visor and everything, flip-flops, high socks.
I can picture it.
Yeah.
I love New York visor.
I'm a believer.
Yeah. So we make the corner from there, and Garrett did physically pull me away from there, from the, it was just amazing. Over to the powder coat booth, where they take the finished deburred risers, and they have big cooking stations. They have a spray booth for the powder, to lay down the powder, which again is all completely set up for no airborne, any kind of material going airborne and breathable. Of course, they have proper attire to make sure they don't breathe that stuff in. And they have very well experienced, people that have been there. What? That guy was there for what? No, not 19 years. I want to say 10 years, was it?
He was,
since 2009, he was with Elite or something like that.
Like you see a master painter. This guy was the same as, how well the powder coat and all laid on. He definitely knew what he was doing, just the way he was cleaning out the different equipment and everything and laying it down. But anything that needs to get powder coated is done right there. And you would think that they would be doing it, in
sending
big
it
closed
out or
painting booths and everything, and not at all. I mean, they push it into kind of like an open face closet, But again, they're spraying black powder coat everywhere, and everything's just completely clean all around.
It's amazing. And then
it really was amazing how clean everything was. And I mean, obviously it's because they have the best equipment as far as the ventilation and the deburring table with the downward suction and everything else.
Yeah,
but,
they don't cut corners at all.
No, nowhere. There is nowhere in there do they cut a corner.
And then the best part is they stick it into the oven, and the master painter there he actually said, we've even cooked pizza in there, just joking around and shit. So the best part, I want you to describe the next station that we walked into, because I was blown away. I was actually speechless. This was your section that I feel like you even made a quick little video that I feel you had the most questions out of the whole tour. Why don't you dip into it?
So it depending on what type of finish that the bow is getting, it depends on what type of powder coat. Obviously that's like a primer. And Elite, their big thing is fit, form, and finish. So, and this is kind of one of the last stages of the process as to how well a bow is finished. So they do some different, powder coating and anodizing and stuff like that. But the camo and different,
even different
patterns,
prints, yeah,
they are not, and I'll repeat, as they seem seriously offended by the word hydro dipped.
Yeah, they don't dip.
Or
no
dipped
dipping
at all. It's not dipped. It's pretty badass. What they have is the risers that are going to get a camo pattern as the finish are done in a white. They're powder coated in a primer white. And then they are put inside of basically a long sock.
Yep.
I mean, it's just like a sock. And then put inside of a bag with a nozzle for a hose to hook to it, and it be vacuum sealed. So what they do is and there's two guys that sit there and do this. They slowly vacuum seal them, and they press the sock into every corner, crevice, hole, any bit of the design, the cage work around every single part of the bow. This sock is then shrunk wrapped into all these corners, and they take it, and I can't remember how hot or how long you said they bake it, but it comes out. They open the Ziploc bag, and you peel the sock off, and you are left with like a perfectly finished camouflage pattern. It's pretty badass.
That's mind blowing,
bro. It's like some kind of.
It was really cool.
It's like some kind of voodoo witchcraft that I was witnessing right before my eyes. I'm like, I even told Christian.
The sock is like. It looked
cloth.
like a dirty sock.
Yeah,
it was like half white, partially like yellow brownish a little bit. It looks like a fucking dirty sock.
And I even told Christian, I'm like, what kind of witchcraft you got going on here?
Perfect green, whatever the color or pattern was. It was a perfect color, but yeah, it was really badass.
That's so fucking awesome. I'm mind blown. I'm really am.
I'll post a video of that on my main story.
I was gonna ask if somebody had some videos.
Yeah, I had to take a video of that because it was just too cool.
I'm still waiting for Garrett to share all his photos and videos to me that I asked a couple days ago, but he hasn't gotten it to me yet. So.
I'm sorry that you're on that end of that. I know how that goes.
So we go to the next station. It's the assembly line. The limbs. Every station has, like I said, maximum of 2 or 3 people. They have a station where they clean out the ports for the limbs to bolt them down. They have where they assemble the cams onto the limbs. And as well, the best impressive station they had is not only to put on the strings, right? But they're testing the poundage to get it precise on these bolt compressors and draw machines to measure the correct draw length and draw pressure, so it's down to precise the specs upon ordering. And we saw it firsthand, right, G, that it just wasn't right. It took the guy 3 times to get it just right. Normally, you see it.
He thought the bow was put together right, put it on the machine, and cranks it back slowly and sees exactly where the rollover point and the timing and the cams is. And if the timing was off just a little bit, crank it back down, put a couple twists in the string, set it back up. All right, put it back on the machine and draw it back and find out to make sure it's at that exact draw length it should be in. The mods are set just right. And, every single one was checked, adjusted, and rechecked until it was correct. So they know when a bow comes out the factory that it's in the exact spec of where they claim it is.
And the best part about that is what we touched on earlier is they eliminate the middleman. They ship it directly to your closest dealer. So this way you get their best product at its best quality through your local dealer, because your local dealer is going to set you up and tune it with you. So this way you get 100% quality all the way around.
It's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, and that's why one of the reasons why you're not finding an Elite in
like
the giant box stores, because, I mean, no offense, but most of them do not have a top bow tech.
Right. And if they do, we're not knocking them, but it just seems like local is more experienced.
That's what I said. No offense, but most of them don't. Most of those guys, they work on bows as well as everything else in that department. It's not the same as when you go into an archery shop to see a bow tech.
Correct.
And I'm not saying that an Elite is so fickle that it has to be done by a top bow tech. But this way, when you go to get that bow, the bow is made right, inspected to be right, and you're getting it from a dealer, so you're getting the best equipment.
Right.
Your equipment in question, it's user error after that,
Cool.
And 99.9% of the time that like you go to a bow shop, like myself as being an Elite shooter, like the guy behind the counter, that bow tech, lives, breathes, and dreams for Elite, or They
most
love them,
dealers that have Elite love
they shoot them.
Yeah,
right.
The customer service. They like dealing with them too.
It's just and even
they like dealing with the bows as well as the company.
Yeah,
exactly.
I've been an Elite shooter for a while, and I'll tell you what is that everybody who shoots them loves them. I mean, it's a love hate, man. Like you love them.
What'd you think this Mexican ass smacking 80-yard target first time shooting your Elite bow?
Man, my synergy, dude. Like. Just picked it up and just started smacking shit, dude.
I mean, you're like, first time luck. Here, shoot it again. Yeah. I got even closer. He's like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, it's good quality machinery.
It's the quality of the equipment. I mean, I'm a believer of Elite, and after even listening to you guys, because I haven't even heard most of these stories, and it just makes me even more of a lover and a believer in them. And there was a video that was posted a couple of years ago, probably maybe 2 years ago, and they were doing the let off on the bow. I don't know if you guys have seen it or whatnot, but check it out. It's on YouTube. You can find it. And it was about the let off. And literally what he did was talking about witchcraft. This was some shit. So he took the bow and he had it on a scale and he put it down and at full draw, right? And it goes to the 4.5 pounds or 5 pounds or whatever the bow is. And he literally takes his fucking hands right off the bow. And the bow is staying at full draw, meaning its let off is equal to the poundage of the bow of what the riser and the limbs and everything is, and keep that bow right at full draw.
Yeah.
I do remember a video like that.
Let off on that bow, and I was a believer way before that, and then seeing that just made me a fucking believer. I mean, the let off. You're talking, what is that? 96% let off at that point, or 92%. The poundage and so on and so forth,
right.
But
it's awesome. TP10
I'm not
in
trying
the shorts.
to do the mouth.
TP10 in the shorts. So let's fast forward to the best part, the most important part to me actually as a consumer that I saw. Their last station, man, was for the Elite bow. That was the unboxing experience station. What they do, they have one specific person to wipe down, shine up your bow. Not with anything kind of greasy or anything like that, but just make sure it's pristine condition.
Not like the white glove test.
Yes.
Come on.
Yep. Like military. Like in the Marine Corps type.
Make sure every sticker is perfect. Everything on
even
your
to the
bow
bubble
is
wrap on the
perfect
corners
and clean. And so, because again, it's a big investment to spend that much money on a product. And, when you get it, it's, it's important to pull it out and it's like a new car smell.
Yeah. It's like
you know
having
what I
your
mean?
car in
It's
the
kind of
showroom.
important to just know that it is inspected and is fresh and clean and is just, fit for and finish. Again, just that it's perfect when it reaches you and you pull it out of the box.
Yeah, it's perfect. And that's why they jumped to the Valor to make it even more affordable, get that high-end lowdown, which means the lower price at the same exact quality that Elite produces, because some people, it's hard. We're all working class, and some people, it's hard to dump $1,000 on a bow, especially when you have to still get the sight and your drop away or whatever, whisker biscuit, or whatever you use to shoot through arrows. Then your release. I mean, after all said and done, it could be creeping up to $2,000. This way, with the Valor, you still stay around the $1,000 mark, and it's a beautiful thing. But the best part, so get yourself that Valor. Or even the Mantis 30. That print is hot as fuck.
Or even the Enlist is another really good one for an entry-level guy.
Oh, yeah. They have many different.
I absolutely love my Ritual. I have the original Ritual.
The 33.
33.
Yeah, the Ritual 33.
Yeah, 32, 33, whatever it is. Yeah, I love
33.
that.
But, and then also they have like the Option 6. I mean, they have a bow for everyone.
Yeah.
The Echelon, if you're just a target shooter. I mean, everything for everyone. So we ended the tour. We got the full Elite experience, and we walked over to the most fun station, I thought, is what they offer, because Christian Costa said it best. It's only fair for every employee in that building, whether they're able to afford a bow of such stature or not, to have a place and have the option to shoot all their bows. So we walked over. They're a Camex dealer as well, or producer as well. So we walked over to the Camex crossbow station, and I forgot his name, man. I'm so bad with names, so forgive me. But he was fine tuning the Camex crossbow. Shootability. So this way, straight out of the box, is RTR or RTS, ready to shoot. So basically, what's going on is he's fine tuning it to the point that you take it out of the box, and it's pretty much fine-tuned, depending on what arrow you choose to get, but it's going to be minimal tuning from there. So he had just finished tuning one, and Garrett and I were like looking at each other like, all right, well, how good can this be? You know what I mean?
You did some crazy shit, didn't you?
He smacked, yeah. And the guy, the test inspector, he's like, you want to give it a whirl? Garrett and I look at each other like, fuck yeah.
Yep.
and I'm like, gee, you want to go first? He's like, oh, go ahead, DRock. I'm like, all right. And I set up, and Christian, he doesn't know our capabilities.
Right.
He doesn't, he's getting to know us and shit. And we don't really talk about shooting crossbows, although I know I own one and I have shot one, and they're a ton of fun. Perfect segue for a rifle hunter to cross over into the archery world,
Absolutely.
I think.
Or a youth.
Or
Yeah.
anyone that just doesn't have the time and dedication it takes for archery.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And, it's all fine-tuned. And he's like, go ahead, give it a whirl. And I'm like, gee, you feel me? He's like, gotcha. Boom. Fucking Robin Hooded that shit. and the guy was like, sounds like you Robin Hooded. I'm like, yeah? You like that shit?
I wonder how many he Robin Hoods.
I know, right?
I went to shoot one. I go to shoot it, and
that shit
the arrow
tailwind
kind of flutters off to the side and did something a little weird. Why? Because that was an arrow that had already been shot and hit while he's stacking all. He had a whole pile. He's like, yeah, there's all the Robin Hoods and the damages there. It's like, oh, that's the bin of how well you do your job, is what you mean.
Yep. So we walk over to the very, very last station as far as Elite goes, and they had a whole indoor target range with every possible Elite bow hanging up, all different colors, just hanging up with all different Scott Archery releases and arrows right there.
All the different specs.
Everything.
So no matter
Some
what
of the
your
older ones?
spec
All of them.
was, no matter what your specs were, you could go in, pick up the bows, and you
shoot
could
'em.
shoot them.
They had like old
All of
Z28s
'em.
and fucking all of them.
All of 'em.
2007 and up.
All of them.
And they had some pretty
in a
crazy
dream.
looking bows in there
Yeah, they
too. Like
did.
as far as finishes, like they attempted different designs and everything, and then maybe just completely built the bow, and that's where some of them ended up. It's
Dude,
pretty
I
wild.
felt so Mexican American proud when I picked up the American flag print Elite. I was like, oh, you don't understand, Christian. This is like every Mexican's dream right here. I'm like, I'm so glad I'm on this side of the wall.
Another thing that was awesome about the bow range they had in there, not only does it have like all the bows so you can try them, and it has all the different CBE sights on all of them and everything, all the different Scott releases, but they'll actually do some like company league shoots.
Yeah.
Where they'll have an archery league, and every single person, like down to the cleaning lady, is welcome to shoot their own bow or shoot any of those bows available to them
Right in the range.
in the league. And he said it's over an 80% participation.
Yep. Of
Like
the whole
over
of all staff.
80% of the company participates in the company league shoots.
I think they're putting the for sale sign in front of my house. I'm moving to Rochester.
East Coast, baby.
Like, everyone loves archery and kind of what they do. You know what I mean?
They have that passion, man. It's
Yeah,
that love.
yeah.
It's that feeling.
Hey, Nick Albanese put it best out of New Jersey. East Coast, baby. Chew on that. Oh, man. I love it, man. So that was the tour, man. And then quickly after, I mean, it was an amazing experience. And we didn't even touch on some other things. Like they assembled the whole slick tricks, all the broadheads there.
amazing.
I mean, hand by hand, one by one.
Even the new boxes, the new packaging for the CBE sites.
Yeah, everything.
That's all
Even the
designed
boxes.
in-house. And then when it comes out, like, it really is a cool looking like box even. So
Right. Almost like a trophy case.
Yeah, it's just really, they really do think about every aspect of, look, if you're spending your money with us, we want to provide you with the best of every piece we can.
Right.
So I got to ask, what bows did you boys shoot when you were in the range? Did you guys shoot a couple or no?
We didn't, because
Verticals, no verticals?
we had the tour just kind of continuing, and
we kind of had to
Christian
speed
some
things up.
other obligations too,
Yep.
so we didn't want to linger too long, and we decided to play with the crossbows a little bit.
You guys were on DRock time. That's why we call it.
And
I love it.
So we fast forward, and we grabbed lunch, and then we got down to the nitty gritty and talked about certain stuff and different avenues, potential things in the works, and just great people. Great to meet the family. And the best part is in my head, I'm like, so what you think, G, walking into the room and headquarters, and then you have one of your fans, the Modern Assassin. He's like, oh, it was a cool experience. And then wouldn't you know, the CEO, Anthony, shout out to him, he comes around the corner, and Christian's like, oh, this is Garrett, the Modern Assassin. This is DRock. He's like, DRock, what's up, man? So it was cool. It's like I got my little glory too, while I was there. So it was a cool experience, man. It's just everyone.
Yeah, he was a real down to earth dude, too.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I just want to say
sweet kid too, man. It's like you could tell he loves his people and he has the passion for outdoors. And what better way to have a CEO like that pushing product and customer service to his consumer? That's
and you
what
were
want.
saying he's a younger dude.
Yeah. Yeah, younger dude. He's a stud too. No homo. If I was homo, I'd probably ask him out. No, on a serious note, though, he's
not just to try to get an elite either. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. No, but really down to earth, dude. On a serious note, like you could tell, passion for the outdoors, really professional, but down to earth. Doesn't treat anyone else other than human being, and that was very, very endearing.
Every single person there was like that, though.
Yeah, everyone was chill.
Every single person we met was like, you could tell. Okay, put it this way: no one seemed like they were miserable at their job.
Exactly, everyone was happy to be there.
It's like everyone was enjoying what they were doing and took pride in what they were doing. And I mean, dude, it's a place I would apply at. Shit.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm gonna move to Rochester.
Yeah, it was quite an experience. It's not often that you get to take a full tour like that, and it's not that I expected anything less than top notch from Elite, but
and the outdoor group.
Literally, yeah, and the outdoor group, yeah. But it was just literally all the way through, just top notch from top to bottom. It was just very, very impressive the whole way around. That's the word to use. It's just impressive.
It seems like there was a lot of just the love and the family and the mom and pop shop, and I think that goes miles.
Yeah,
even with you guys,
people,
and you see, you can
a lot of
hear
people claim that, like, oh, everything's hands-on and this and that, but no, it's no bullshit, dude. Like,
they really are.
They
That's
all
awesome.
know each other. They all know each other personally.
They hang out outside of work.
Each person's responsible for, and like, yeah, it was awesome.
That's what it sounds like, is that they just have that passion and that love for one another, and they do it right. But I got to say one thing: you guys both fucking suck, because I couldn't go.
No, it wasn't even. It wasn't even that.
No, of course. I'm jealous, and hearing the stories, it's fucking awesome, dude.
Well, envious is the word, because we did go up there as Garrett and I venture into the outdoor realm a little more. What's up, Brick?
What up, Brick?
And we venture out to the outdoors a little more and try to be more involved, trying to go 100% outdoors. We haven't narrowed down a name, but we are out there for the East Coast mainly to try to connect people and get people connected to the right kinds of people to deal with and grow their companies. We will disclose more later, but what's up, Brick? All right, put him on the mic. Put him on. So, what I'm trying to say is we are a new team of recruiters to venture out and connect people and build that unity. So look out for the East Coast and Garrett Benner and DRock. We're coming out full-fledged very, very soon, and we'll probably have another episode disclosing that precisely.
I love it. I love it, boys.
If you haven't got shot an Elite yet, because you could buy a good bow from any company, and we do not knock any company out there. There's a lot of good bows. Get the bow for you. All I'm trying to say, and all Garrett's trying to say, and all Trev's trying to say, is keep your options open. Put an Elite in your hand. Try it out.
Put a Prime in your hand.
You know what?
That's what I say. That everybody asks, what's the best bow? What's the best bow for who?
That's it, man.
Exactly.
Because it's not going to be the same for every person, you know. It's what feels best in your hand. And that's why, you know, even every bow company has different options and not just one bow, because they know one bow is not the best bow for everyone. So they tried to build an option for everyone. And, the customer service and the way things are built, I can pretty much say are second to none.
Lifetime guarantee. Get yourself a Valor. Get yourself a Green Mantis Ritual 30, Ritual Series, Ritual 35, 33, the Option 6. I mean, the Echelon. Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. They have a bow for you. Just get an Elite in your hand.
And just want to say big thank you to Christian Costa. Really appreciate him taking the time to give us the tour. Would have been nice to see the man in the vest, old McCoy, but he was out chopping off the ugly part of turkeys.
Happy belated, by the way. Happy belated birthday.
Yeah.
Lorenzo.
Yeah. And shout out to my boy Jordan Costa. It was nice catching up with him. That was pretty awesome.
And shout out to Jeff and Anthony, the CEO, and just Jeff Southall. You're a fucking genius. And you know what? That's the best way I could put it. So on that note, stay stepping.
And stay
slaying.
I've never had Tickamani eyes, and I'll never kill a Boone and Crockett. I try to let a few does walk, but Fat Freezer runs low, I gotta stock it. These scrub bugs got no mask, darn sure no drop times, but this chili has deer burger in it tonight.
Dude, where did this podcast go? Straight to hell. Yeah, speaking of hell, check out East Coast Bowhunting Podcast.
We keep it real on East Coast.
First of all, I'm addicted to the show. I like that. That's cool. Full bore hunt. You live it. You breathe it. It's a whole different world. Just East Coast has a little bit more of an edge and a grind. It's a fantastic thing.
You guys are fucking awesome.
Well, number one is you guys like beer. I want to feel like I'm hanging with the boys.
Bearded guys just showed up.
But I actually saw Jesus.
The point where it is now where it's insane.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
I just want to get the realest people possible in the industry. You know, if you're not pissing people off, you're not doing it right. Nothing forced, all fucking natural.